through these market little analysis and obviously some of the trades that we had last week that put me on the leaderboard, which was absolutely awesome. Not only that, taking a week off of trading, but I will call this week's analysis because I'm feeling kind. Well, not only I'm feeling kind, I want to kind of state a few things about kind of just in terms of trading. We'll start with this right now. So the first things first is in trading, analysis is a complete different thing from trading. I know that sounds crazy, but it's actually so true, imperatively true. Why? Well, because analysis is you've got no risk on the table. Risk is an emotion, risk is money, risk is an effect, and risk is a cause. So essentially, that's why there are jobs out there that are for analysis ultimately. And when you have those jobs for analysis, you can call the markets like right pretty much 90% of the time. It's just whether you can execute. And a prime example is look at this. So I trade based on, I wouldn't say supply and demand, but we have basically our structures. We identify our structures. After we identify the structure, so call it structure, right? And what we teach is simply this: is I look for point A to point B. Very, very simple. This is something that we really highlight and really, really want to stay forward on and moving forward. And I want to emphasize this from there. Then once we identify a structure from point A to point B and it's confirmed, we then just simply look for an entry requirement, okay, which you'll see from repetitions and time after again. And really and truly, if we just look at this chart alone, all right, which is DAX, now it's simply put, like we just have to understand the story, is we've got these zones. So here was a high, here was a resistance. Look at that, that's it. It was just exactly that. And then it became a support before making a new all-time high. A support, a support, a support, a support, and then look, a flash support broke out of this range again, and then another support, resistance, resistance, and resistance. Could we get to here, and could it come up and do exactly that? Now, this section of a trade is exactly this. It broke, retested, and pushed up. And guess what? We had a line here, which was a support. It retested, broke, retested, broke, retested, broke, retested, and broke. So that's just really identifying the markets. It's probably the easiest and the most funnest bit about trading. It's just kind of looking at the overall trend. The hardest bit is executing and making money and taking trades. So we had quite a few trades, which was long. We had DAX obviously for continuations onto the upside. We had gold, which was also continuations to the upside as well, just making new higher highs. We did a 20% push from the 3K mark. We had new all-time highs made at 3K. And then we basically just tapped shy of 3060, which was a 20% from the 3K mark. And then, yeah, to be honest, it looks really good for a continuation. Now, all of these trades are here. Now I'm back on my journal on Discord, sharing with obviously the team, and we shared before and after, and it was beautiful, really, really good. So here we've got the before and the flash, and then we've got here before and then flash here. This was a great short. We had an entry requirement, had a retest on this high, a continuation onto the downside, and then literally hit TP within 30, 40 minutes. Here was another buy and a continuation. That was before and after. Hit second on the leaderboard. Well, I went from 4, 3, and then to 2. Here was another short, sharing the positions. And then also I'm doing the 5K challenge, which I'll share with you guys soon. And then here was another short that went all the way through. And then another short that made new like lows for the year. And then we tried to go for a short on Friday, last Friday, which was actually a really, really good trade. And let me just reset the charts. It just didn't actually play through in terms of timing. So right here. So with that being said, one kind of like real big tip to kind of obviously improve your trading and to understand is just to understand the difference between analyzing and trading. Most of the time, every single one of you who have put enough in the markets, learned about to trade for quite a while, you will know how to analyze. You will learn how to identify A to B. After you've identified and learned how to do A to B, it's actually managing the entries, managing the trade, and trade management is actually the hardest bit. So in the next vlog or one of the other vlogs, what I'll do is I'll go through one of the flow charts and then I'll explain like why the flow charts are so important from there. All right.